And part of that getting better is literally facing people, building a connection, strengthening the connection through being transparent enough to share both the positive and the negative. And as you do that, you will find that as you're strengthened and your empathy is more evident, and you're able to surf the connections that you have in your life in a way that you can take it when they're disappointed in you instead of being crushed. You can take it when they're happy with you instead of being narcissistic and just sucking it in and needing more, more, more. See, we can tame ourselves and build really juicy, passionate, connected, negotiated relationships. And that is something that might become a lost art. That's something that might be lost in the addiction of all of the temptations that we have right at our fingertips. And I've got to see. By the way, my name's Dr. Matt Eschler with a Southern Utah counseling experience. We are recently merged with St. George Center for Couples and Families. We've had a wonderful time with them, and we've got a huge operation going to help people, and that's the focus. The focus is on how do we build this to help people. And I'm an LDS guy that was watching the conference that we had about 2 weeks ago, and part of the write-up from the conference on some of the changes that they're having in our churches and in our faith and how we do things and how we go about things, there was one sentence that struck fear in my heart. And so I knew when I read that sentence and I felt fear that I'm at risk to be just as addicted as the people that I counsel to stop being so addicted. The sentence was, we are no longer going to offer internet in our stake and chapels for the LDS faith. For that 3 hours, it might be good for members to use paper scriptures. I have not used a paper book in like 4 years. I really like my screen when I'm there to just pop back and forth between my lesson and the scriptures. I like doing a little quick research. I like reading something that's off topic with split screen going so I can stay on topic. Some of it's rude, I get it. But when I think for just a moment, how many of you think like I do? And this is naughty. I've got to quit thinking this way. But if I think for just a moment, 3 hours without any internet, that's going to be miserable. How sad is that? Do you remember Sunday afternoons when you had like 8 hours of sunlight left and not a thing planned? And you didn't have any TV to come on to because there's only 3 channels, and you didn't like Lawrence Welk and you didn't like Hee Haw. And so you had to go outside and figure out something to do. So you made a stick boat and you floated it in the ditch. And that afternoon felt like a week of today's time because it was so relaxing. And then Monday came and you were ready to go again. We don't have that anymore. When I'm so addicted that I'm scared to go 3 hours without it, I've got to change something. And maybe if you're seeing that, maybe some of you teenagers out there that your parents say to you, I'm going to take your iPhone away, and you look at them and you say with all seriousness, I will run away from home and not be your kid if you take my iPhone. Now, if you're willing to trade your relationship with your parents for your phone, if you're willing to trade your relationship with your wife for your phone, if you're willing to trade your relationship with live people for a screen, you're addicted. And you're moving quickly towards apathy. Okay? So all of this, what we're really talking about is, are we willing to give someone our full attention? I started with the story about myself in the truck, driving down the road with my wife, dialing a phone number with my finger, listening to her, but looking at the screen, listening, looking, flitting back and forth. And then she realizes I'm not giving her 100% of me. And so she gives up and says, make your phone call. Fine. Really what she said is, I know something else is more important than me. So I'm second and I'm not willing to come second. So go, be on your phone. How many times can I do that before she's indifferent to our relationship? Not very many. So what we're talking about is bestowing our full attention on another human being, and then maybe carving out a little time to organize stuff or eulogize stuff or memorialize stuff or document stuff online for people to see. See, it's okay to have online presence. It is. But we need to bestow our full attention on people when we're with people and our full attention on social media when we're on social media. We need to take a look at when we're online and someone's bidding for our attention, what would it be like to jump in with both feet and give them our full attention? And not just leave the conversation when it got boring, not just decide that, I want somebody else. You bore me, so I'm going to pretend I just got kicked off the net for a second. Like, what if you tuned into this broadcast and stayed for the whole 50 minutes? How would that be? Really connecting with me. And I know it's not a two-way interaction, but some of you have left me notes. Some of you have typed in little things for me to read, and it's been fun. And some of you will shoot me Facebook messages afterwards, and I'll talk back and forth with you. It's all connecting. See, what if when we're sitting with someone at a restaurant, we leave our phones in the car? Now, I've thought this, and I think many of you think this, but what if our kids need to get hold of us? I'm still a young guy, but I'm old enough to remember the day that if I wanted to get my mom and dad when they were out on a date night or out with friends, I'd have to think about what restaurant they might be at or what theater they might be at and call the theater and hope that the theater guy would go find them and bring them to the phone. But most often, I would just deal with stuff without them. And then they'd come home and they would be proud of me for dealing with stuff without them, and I'd be proud of myself because I'm growing up. And what 9-year-old shouldn't do that now and again? And now there's people out there screaming, you can't do that with a 9-year-old. With a 9-year-old, are you crazy? You can't do that with a 9-year-old. I think that we have to not put our kids in unsafe circumstances, but we also have to let them grow up. And so part of this giving full attention is be willing to go on a 5-hour date every week and leave all your online stuff in the car. Put it in the glove box. Shut it off. Give your kids plenty of safe people to call that are not on dates so that 5 hours you belong to each other and there's no attention given anywhere else. And I honestly got to say, I don't remember the last date that I took where I didn't have my phone there. And I didn't answer it a bunch, but when things got a little slow on the date, I would quick check text just to see if something interesting was going on. And so whenever I did that, I was saying to my wife, hey, you're a little boring right now, so I'm going to see if somebody's more exciting. And how is that? How fun is that? Is that going to build a juicy, passionate relationship? What if you do like Sister Dotson does, or like the Spendloves do, or like the Benwares do? What if you take a vacation from all technology, all phones? What if every Sunday, what if every weekend you did a no-phone Sunday? What if once a month or once a quarter you did a no-phone weekend and you just really found people and talked with them? See, that's what we're talking about with this portion of the show. Now, there's some positive things that you can do, and I want to throw this to you, that what I've been hammering on is not multitasking. I want you to stop the multitasking and build a committed relationship with whoever you're in relationship with. I'm going to give you 5 things with one venue right now. 5 things. 5 things that you can do with a text every day. Okay, you ready for this? 5 things. I want you to think about your spouse, your lover. I want you to think about your kids, your grandma. anybody that you know texts that you want to choose. And if you're a married person, do this with your spouse every day. If you're courting someone and you're working towards a marriage with them, do this with that person every day. And then pick a few and do with everybody else. But do all 5 of these things every day with someone that you want to be in the juiciest, most passionate relationship with. Number 1, send them a compliment every day. Now, the ratio that I've taught over the years is a 5-to-1. Send them 5 compliments for any critique that you give them every day. But this is just simply send a compliment. One thing I'll do is I'll jump on my my phone and text a quick, hey, bring my iPhone to, or bring my iPen to work, or hey, I left this home, bring it to work with you, or hey, would you grab me a salad and bring it over, I'm hungry. But what if you didn't ask for something? What if you sent, just out of the blue, a quick compliment that was real, genuine, that they know was a sincere compliment? Second thing, send your lover a thank you every day for something that's real and genuine. So you can't make stuff up and just pretend. It has to be real, like something that you're really thankful for, but that you know you didn't say. How about this number 3? Text a fond memory of something that you two did together. Just reminisce back, and what that'll do is they'll know you're thinking of them, and then they'll think of that fond memory with you, and it'll be like a warm moment, and it's all through a text. So for those of you that just jumped on, we've been talking about not multitasking, talking about not thinking that it's okay to talk with someone face-to-face and Facebook someone else on the side. Don't be posting Instagram pictures with people out there, texting people out there while you're at dinner with a group of friends face-to-face. Don't multitask. That builds apathy, not empathy. What we're talking about is a way to use social media to bolster a relationship, to build a relationship. And I'm giving you 5 things just with texting that will help you with your juicy, passionate, loving relationship with your lover. Send a compliment every day via text. Don't ask for anything. Don't ask for anything before or after the compliment. Just compliment them. Send a quick thank you. Send a fond memory that you have, that you recall. Now, this is a fun one. Shoot a curious question out via text about them. Hey, I was just curious. On Saturday, you said that you really liked going on Jeep rides and you really enjoyed the desert. Well, what is it about that you like? I'm just curious, because I know what I like about it, but I'm curious what you like about it. And do you like motorcycles as well as Jeeps? Just a curious question. Just come up with something that you think, well, that would be nice to know. So now you're sharing something that will create empathy and a bigger, deeper connection. And then throughout the day, what I like to do is watch for something that was kind of made you happy, made you laugh, something you chuckled about, and send that out. Does that make sense? Just shoot a quick little message out on something that made you happy, and just share that with them so that they're involved in your day. So instead of messing 2 things up at a time, do one thing really well at a time and get both of them done that way. And that's really what we're talking about. And that's just texting. I gave you 5 ideas of how to use texting to your relationship benefit. Compliment via text. Send a thank you to your lover via text. Send a fond memory of something that you enjoy together. Ask a curious question. And share a happy moment via text. Do all 5 of those every single day for a month. But don't do those 5 things when you're face-to-face with someone else. When you're face-to-face, be there. And when you've got a moment that it's time to take care of some of your business online, then shoot out one of these each time throughout the day. See, that's building a connection, that's building a commitment. The strong connections that we can have, for better or for worse, are going to be enhanced or move towards indifference or apathy based upon how we handle stuff. I want you to think for a moment, just a moment, about Facebook. See, you can post romantic pictures about you and your lover, about you and a family a trip that you took, and then other members of the family can really enjoy the moment with you for just a second and send you a little note. Hey, that looks like a great time that you guys had. Where did you go? Now you're connecting. But if you and your husband are fighting because from 6 o'clock until 11 o'clock at night, one of you is always staring at a screen, those Facebook connections that you're creating with those happy moments are going to be lost in the pain of a failing relationship. So I'd suggest carve out an hour in the evening, carve out a half hour in the evening. And if you watch TV, split up the time, spend an hour on TV and spend an hour on Facebook, and the rest of the time have it all the electronics shut off. I won't make the rules for you because that even sounded like way too much screen time for an evening. But I literally know people that will fight. These are adult people. These are like 35-year-olds that are talking about spending 8 hours an evening online. 8 hours! I don't even have 8 hours left after making dinner and cleaning up after. I don't know where they find the 8 hours, but they're fighting over like, we're not together. We're 8 hours, each of us on a screen with other people. They're basically cheating on each other with other people all evening, every evening. So let's lose that notion and start connecting with each other face to face. That's my challenge. Disconnect from online when you've got someone in front of you. And then carve out some time to respond. I'm going to talk about business for just 1 second. I've been a business owner for my entire adult life. And I've been trained by my clients to be available 24/7, or I've trained my clients when I'll be available. And I challenge you to train your clients when you're available by saying, I am with my family from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I'll check messages at 9 for a half an hour, respond probably the next day, but I'll at least know if there's emergencies. And then I'm just making stuff up as I go, but really have a pattern of behavior that supports your business because you have to, but that more readily supports the people that you love, that you're trying to do the business for. See, if I only work to provide for my family and to save the world. That's the only two reasons I work. I want to save the world and I want to provide for my family. And so when I'm with my family, I need to be really aware that it's not time to save the world. It's not time to generate an income. And if I can keep that clear, I'll be wildly successful. And if I can't, it'll be just like all these other things we've talked about. So there you have it. There's our show today. Dr. Matt Eschler with a Southern Utah counseling experience coming to you live. We've recently merged with St. George Center for Couples and Families. We've got the largest marriage and family center probably in America, maybe in the world. I have no idea. I'm maybe exaggerating, but it feels big to me. We've got offices between here and Delta, and we are just happy to bring you ways of resolving any kind of conflict. In fact, my specialty is high conflict relationships. If we can take a moment and address these points like social media and how it messes with your relationships and just make them a little bit better. I'm not asking any of you to get perfect because none of us can, but we can get a little bit better by taking one idea and then using it. And I challenge you this week to compliment someone, thank someone, share a fond memory that you're thinking of someone. Ask a curious question to your lover over a text. Send your lover a moment that you felt happy during your day and include them in it via text. That's a way to use social media. Don't sit with your lover and then text your partner at work because then she comes second and he's coming first, and that's never going to be right. So you think you got it? This is Dr. Matt Eschler. We'll come to you live next Friday. You can listen to this show again here in just a bit, and we'll see you after a couple of days break.